But before I get there, I would love if you could tell listeners a little bit about your background and your journey that led to you founding Firstup.
Yeah, so you touched on it a little bit. I did start my career at Enron, lived through what was then the largest bankruptcy. And so for me, and my bosses really did go to jail. For me, it was kind of two things. One, I said, I'm only going to start companies where I can control the culture and the ethics, so an Enron situation doesn't happen again. And then the second piece was, I needed to do something different to connect with employees. It was a very formative experience for me, first job out of college, and had executives lie to our faces and just be the opposite of authentic and transparent. And so that was just something that I said, I have to address this and I have to fix this in some way.
Yeah. That's honestly amazing to hear that you care so much about that as a CEO. I think a lot of people in HR feel like a lot of CEOs don't care about that. So it's really great to have you on. I was so excited about that because I've heard so much about you and we've met before. So I knew kind of you lived the very values that you talked about and said were important. When you were thinking about creating Firstup and a tool that focuses on these personalized moments in the workplace, what really inspired that?
Yeah, I think a couple different things. And Firstup is the second company that I founded. And I think when we really got our start and real product market fit, it was two things. One, focus on the frontline worker. 80% of the world's workforce doesn't sit in front of computers like the two of us. And yet that was the biggest group of people who was really left out. And so saying, okay, we've got to do better for these people, especially when we think about their connection to culture and purpose. A story there that really stands out. Boeing, who was one of our early customers, still one of our largest customers today, sat across it was the chief comms officer at the time and said, look, the people who are our culture, they're building our planes, they're on the floor, they're the ones who are the most disconnected from what we're doing. And that's just not okay. And we have to fix this. And so I think that part is a clear founding principle. It's something that everyone who works at Firstup is really proud of what we're doing. And then the other piece is the way to really connect people with that sense of purpose and meaning is through communication. And so we looked and said, there's really not a platform that can deliver communication at scale where we can think about campaigns just like marketers had done, create beautiful content and communications, be able to reach people wherever they are, especially that frontline. And so really took those principles and said, gosh, look at what Marketo did for marketing. And it took something that before Marketo was just kind of an art and made it a science and brought some discipline with reporting. And we said, we can definitely do this for communications. And so those things were kind of the founding principles.
A lot of what we do in HR, and maybe this is controversial, I don't know, but we do a lot of marketing as well. And I think a lot of HR people forget that we have to also be really great about how we talk to our employees and communicate the things that are super important. So I love the reference to Marketo because nobody really was doing that for HR and for people, but it's so important. You start that connection the second you start communicating with people.
Exactly. And just think about all the things, just take benefits. Think of how many benefits just go underutilized because people don't know, or they maybe get a litany of benefits when they first start, but they don't know. They're not pregnant then. They don't need to go on bereavement leave. They don't need additional counseling and support. And so it's really about getting that, especially when you think about all those benefits, the right benefits to the right person at the right time when they actually need them. And that's the power of really thinking like marketers and taking principles from those kind of modern marketing and consumer marketing platforms. And fun fact, the woman who's our chief product officer, Cheryl Chavez, built Marketo and came from Marketo. And then our CTO, Peter Lai, also built and came from Marketo. So we have kind of the two experts in the space, really deeply understanding what's worked on the consumer side and bringing that expertise to the employee experience.